Just got this in the mail just this morning. As you can see, all the stuff is on the floor, and I'll tell you more about what came with this, which is pretty awesome. So I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know if it's Sirui or Sirui, but it's the let's focus here. It's the P-204S. This is a Young 10 fluid video head that I put on it because it came with a piece of crap monopod with feet that doesn't work, so it's awful. But the one good thing about it was, so if you want to spend $45 on a pretty decent head with a release, the release is actually on my other camera. But if you want to do that, that's really, you can get it on eBay for however cheap you can get it. That's what I would do. This right here, this is something I did. I tried to mount a level on it and it broke off, so don't worry about that. But that usually doesn't come on there. So I've gone ahead and mounted this. The cool thing about it is it has a 1/8 and a 3/8 on the other end, and I'll show you that. That was in the bag. So let's see. Yeah. So this is what comes in your kit. You've got some of these, and then you've got a extra one of these, which I think is pretty cool. So, and this is metal. This is not made of plastic. And then you've got your 3/8 and I think 1/8 screw that you can just turn upside down. Use either one. And then this is the bag that it came in. So I want to tell you a little bit about this bag. This bag has some really good padding. Padding here, padding here. And another cool thing is you've got these, and these are elastic. You can't really tell that in the video, but these are elastic, and they're Velcro straps. But they're soft Velcro. So this is really, really soft. And what happens is you've got two of these. This straps around your monopod to kind of suspend it and keep it to this side so it's not just floating around in your bag. There's also a zipper here to put your things in. This is a pretty nicely made bag. You get a extra strap. This is the extra strap that you get, and that's a pretty good amount of cushioning here for your shoulder. So you get a second strap that comes with it. So let's see. Actually, I'm sorry, not a second strap. That's your primary strap. So that's the primary strap for it. And then you've got these little clips here to attach it. The zipper seems pretty stout. It's a pretty good zipper. Let's get in here. So these are pretty decent size zipper teeth, if that's important to you. I don't really use bags. So let me show you something else. Sorry guys, I'm trying to zip this so you can see the actual zipper head. So it's a pretty good size. If that's important to you, I don't usually use bags, but I would probably use this bag. This is actually a decent bag that I would use. So let's get over to the monopod. Let's take a look at it. So these are the feet, right? I really like this monopod. And I'm going to flip this over so we can talk about these feet. These feet are awesome. They are made of metal. So let's see if we can zoom in here just to the feet. There we go. So they're made of metal. They're very easy to operate. So let's see if we can get this in focus for you. Probably not. Okay, no problem. So there's these little knobs right here, and you hear that click, and then it's rock solid. It's not going to move. Click it again, and there you go. So that's what it's like for all of these. The other cool thing is if you need to use this as a traditional monopod, another thing I didn't show you is it comes with a spike, so you can take this off. And this is metal too. That's the thing. I like all these metal connections. So this is metal too. This whole thing is metal except for the rubber top part. And so this is where you would put your metal spike if you wanted to. But you can screw that down in there. And the cool thing is if you want to use it as a traditional monopod, Then you're going to close these feet and you're going to flip it around. And then now you've got your traditional monopod with either the spike or the rubber foot. So I could never see myself using it that way. I would never want to use this as a traditional monopod. But let me show you something else that's really cool. There are different settings for this. So the way I showed it to you was just that you can be very versatile with this monopod. You really, really can. And I love that about it. It's about 5.5 feet tall. I know that because I'm about 5.5 feet tall. And it goes up that high. So I really, really enjoy this. This is another really cool feature. I'm going to sit down and try to show this to you. This is another really cool feature. So here you have, this is where the ball joint would be. So I'm going to try to open that for you. I've got mine pretty tight because I don't want to. So if you see here, it's kind of got, the other cool thing is there's arrows and symbols and all kind of cool stuff to help you if you don't know what time it is, if you don't know what's going on. So it's telling you, you know, what direction to go, what the tension would be like. So this one where, you know, you see there's a Y and then a line in between it, that's telling you that's going to be going back and forth. And then this one is telling you it's going to be stable. So if I turn it to the right, it's going to be stable. If I turn it to the left, then this is what gets revealed. Okay, there's like a ball in there. And so that means I can do cool stuff like this. I can spin it all around. Now, one of the things people said is they wish there was a way, if I understood them correctly, they wish there was a way to like adjust the tension where they could leave this straight up. Now I have this standing straight up and down, and you saw how fluid the motion is, but if I tap it, it's going to automatically just go to one side. So this is what you do. You've got some tension down here. You tighten this up, not too tight, so you'll play around with it to figure out how tight you want it to be. And then it's not just going to, if I just tap it, it's not going to go all the way over here if I just tap it. But if I want to do some fluid movements, and this thing is meant for you to step on it, so please do. This is all metal. You don't have to worry about whatever you might have gone through with other monopods with feet that had these plastic connections. This is metal. This is not plastic. So now I can do moves like this. I can hold this monopod and I can move it around to do, and it's nice and fluid. So I'm showing you it's moving very fluidly. And I'm giving it some pressure so that it will move. But when I let it go and then I push it, it's not going to just fall to one side like it would have before if I had less tension. So just know that. Use this. This is your friend if you want to go ahead and do some things where you're doing some tilting and stuff like that. But if you want to lock it all the way down, then you just turn this knob. It connects, the metal connects with this metal. So these two are connected. There's no open space. And then it's not going to move. It's going to stay straight up or straight to the side or whatever you set it at. But this thing is hefty. I mean, I just have to say that. This thing is hefty. The only plastic or rubber you're looking at is these, where your knobs to turn. But this thing does actually come almost completely apart. So if you need to put this in a carry-on or put this in your bag, this thing does break down pretty small. Not too small. I won't say. I guess small is probably the wrong word for it. It's not going to break down small. But it will break down to a pretty decent size, and you'll figure that out when you get this at home. But you need this monopod. Like, I'm just saying, you need this thing. You need this monopod in your life because this thing is rugged. This thing is I absolutely love it. And for the price point, I mean, you are going to have to spend money getting your own fluid head. But if you're just getting started and you don't have $100 or $200 for a fluid head, go ahead and get the crappy Young 10 fluid head that comes with the, you know, that little $45 monopod. It's not going to last you very long. The plastic feet broke on me, and then I had to replace those and try to find some more feet. I got those. That broke too. Had to use Gorilla Glue. It was a hot mess. But I will tell you that this head is nice. It's very fluid, if you see that there. Like, I'm just pushing this thing around. It's very, very fluid. Rock solid. You don't hear any noise. You loosen that up. You see how, I mean, it's like butter. It just, yeah, it's got a really nice smooth flow. I love it. You can also take this off if you're left-handed and have it go on the other side. So it's really, really nice. But, I would say get this. I got this for about $140 on eBay. It usually sells for about $160, so I got a deal. But I'm telling you that this thing is awesome. I'll do another review after using it for a few weeks to let you know what else I think about it. But this is awesome. And I'm going to show you something else too. I'm going to show you just the difference between these feet and the typical monopod feet. So this is the crappy, this is what happened, where I ended up having to try to fix this thing. It was awful. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Not zoom in, but focus. Yeah, this is what happened. I mean, this was awful, and I had to do this because I didn't have a choice. I do have a Manfrotto monopod. I mean, I do have a Manfrotto tripod, but it's huge. It's a 7. I think it's 7 or 8 feet. It's for like news cameras. It's an oldie, but it's definitely a goodie. It's really, really smooth. It's buttery smooth. It's a great monopod. But for some of the smaller work that I was doing in smaller environments, it wasn't really the best thing. So I was using the monopod when I was shooting in the high schools and in some of the rooms, the smaller spaces. But you see where it's plastic here? The other one that I had to replace, where it broke wasn't here. It broke here. Because this is plastic. And that's the difference. You made this metal, but you made all of this plastic, and it broke. I mean, and I wasn't even using, I'd gone on one shoot, and it was to shoot my friend's little girl at the park, and it broke before I got home. So, you know, it's awful. But I showed you that to show you the difference between these two. Like, look at that. You know what I mean? Like, it dwarfs this thing. You've got a lot more space to work with, but it's not too big. I heard people saying they didn't think they were going to get it because they felt like it took up too much space. But it doesn't take up too much space. So if you look at the span, even though it's, you know, these legs are much longer, like you can see that. You can see that the legs, you know, that they're significantly longer. But it's not taking up so much space. So I'm going to stand up. And I've got big feet, so I wear about a 9.5 in men's. So these are guys' tennis shoes. So I'll show you like what this might look like. This is where I'm gonna have this. It's not poking out that much farther from my feet. I'm not taking up that much, you know, that much space. So if you're using this traditionally, you know, it's not taking up that much space, and it's certainly not taking up as much space as a tripod would. So I would encourage you to consider that. So if you see like where my feet are, and so I would typically have my monopod probably situated, you know, between my feet, and then I'm working with it. Or if I had it like here, so, because that's cool, where I can offer some, you know, I can have more stability. I can press on this thing without breaking it, because it's completely metal, because all of the connections are metal. I just want you to see that. These huge screws, these rivets, all of this is metal. So if you've got any questions, you know, put them down in the comments section. But this is all metal. The only thing that's not is the top of this here for if you want to use it as a traditional monopod, but the way it screws in it's completely metal. This knob is metal. All of this is metal except for these knobs here to turn and do your adjustments, which you would want, because it's got some grip on it. It's not like really smooth where you can't grip it easily like if it was in the rain or something like that. But I love it. I think this thing is really awesome, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Thanks for watching my first review. I hope it was awesome, and I hope you go out and get this and create something awesome too. Peace out.